Alright, hello and welcome back to Ashgabat Cat's Let's Play That. Today we're taking a look at Oriental Legend. If you'll recall, we tried playing Oriental Legend Special, but that didn't work. But, well, we already got further than we did last time, so I suspect that this one will work actually. Ooh, during the Tang Dynasty, during the rule of Chen Guan, some 1300 years ago, war ravaged the land. Interesting. So it seems to be based off the myth of Journey to the West. And of course that means we got Son Goku, we got the pig, I don't know, she's some sort of water chick, and then we got the monk. There's a fifth guy there. I'm not sure what he's supposed to do. Maybe he's like their squire. Maybe he's like Guan Yu from like Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Like the creator was just like, Guan Yu is just so awesome, let's just put him in this. And I'll give you credit, Guan Yu is pretty cool, but like, that seems a little bit apocryphal. Wow. This game is holding nothing back in the sound volume department. I'm not even sure. Can you hear it over my microphone? I hope not. I take steps not to do so that doesn't happen, but wow. I mean, we haven't even like started yet and I'm already like fairly entertained. Based on this intro alone, I'm willing to give this game a 5 out of 10. And that's pretty good for having seen no actual gameplay. I think the only thing that gets close are like some of those Mahjong games where they have like sweet intros. Okay, let's start the shouting. Get started. Get started. Alright, so we have our choice of these guys. I really swear that's Guan Yu. Alright, so does it... okay. Loops around, so we'll tell our... I mean, we leave what game we're going to select up to chance. Why not leave what character we select up to chance? Besides, assuming there's a continue function, we'll just keep going over and over anyway. Oh, that's pretty catchy. The whole menu, or the whole game should have been like that music. Alright, so we can move around. Button 1 is a regular attack, button 2 is jump. There are air attacks. Button C is sweet golden axe power lightning, I think. Maybe not. Well, who knows? Oh no. The fourth one is sweet golden axe power lightning. I think the third one lets you select which power to use. Alright, so this is not a Capcom game, so you don't cast magic from hit points. But unfortunately... oh, okay. So yeah, now we can choose the bomb. See? That's kind of interesting. We'll have to see later on if that lets you actually save up these special weapons. Well, okay, then thinking about it, this isn't Punisher. It's not like you're going to be finding guns just kind of hanging around. But maybe you can find like other sorts of weapons or something. Hey, you know, this is false advertising. I believe she had a sword or a knife in the beginning. She even had a knife in the intro sequence. That was like, that is an integral part of a character. Where is the knife now? Okay, so it seems like we've powered her up, so she now takes care of these popcorn enemies in one bite, rather than in like 15 bites like it seemed like before. Of course, this is a beat 'em up. They want your quarters. They are going to do significant damage anyway. Hey, those guys have weapons. Interesting. Oh, okay. So this is a Capcom game. You have a crowd control attack. So if you press 2 buttons at once, then is this an item we can collect? Okay. Yeah. Take the might of Chinese architecture. Alright, so you can press A and B for a crowd control attack. Oh, I see. So she responds with a knife. Of course, this being a beat 'em up, we can't give you a weapon. That's nonsense. Unless it's Predator, or Alien vs. Predator, or Punisher. One of those is not actually an arcade game. But, oh, okay, sweet. Can we upgrade? Oh. Oh, okay, that's cool. So, third button... oh, no. Yeah, well, I'm trying to tell, like, one of the buttons just threw away my knife, which is bad, because I think this knife is my key to survival. Hey, there was a pot there. Well, whatever. Whoa. Well, let's just go down, and, I guess we're going down. Well, this is Oriental Legend. I mean, looking at the graphics are, like, incredible. So that's what that flashing meant. The graphics are incredibly well detailed, and, well, they're detailed, but they're incredibly bright. Like, this entire screen is basically just blasting my eyes with detail and brightness. Now, is that necessarily a good thing? I don't know. And they kind of compensate by having sort of maybe not ideal artwork. I don't know. Like the chick looks kind of weird is kind of what I'm trying to say. Oh, and a boss. That's why I saved up all these special weapons. Look, man, it's a boss in a fighting, or a beat 'em up. I'm pretty much just gonna cheese him as much as I can. Like, he's sparing me no quarter, so I'll spare him no quarter. Oh, gotta aim those. That sucks. Okay, that's kind of funny. So she uses the magnifying glass to send a beam of light as though this guy were some sort of common everyday ant, and she was some sort of intrepid kid scientist sadomasochist. That's pretty great. Oh man. Well, it kind of says something when like the knife you're given in the beginning is like so much more powerful than even like the boss. Although I do like how you have to loot in like some sort of mad dash to pick everything up. Power, is that actually attack power, or is that like health power? Oh, okay. Push right. So... Oh, you're supposed to push the Buddha statue, not go to the right. Man, I've been conditioned by every other... That's so silly. Alright, now is this... Hey, there was loot to be had. Oh my gosh. Oh, cool. The bats are helping us? Oh, I don't want to figure out. Oh, wow. So, I mean, yeah, you drop the knife when you get hit, but it seems like this game is more or less content to just give you a weapon the entire time. And if I remember correctly, then the other characters had their own signature weapons. Oh, he has a spear now. In the books, he just has like some sort of lame staff, but now it's like, geez, partisan with all this range. So contrasting the guy character to the girl character, it seems like he has way more range, and like maybe he's slower, perhaps imperceptibly so, but his spear has just so much more range that like, if I was a sane individual, I would not choose the chick over this guy. Wow, I don't even have to think about crowd control. Okay, I'll give credit to this game. Like, your beat-em-up characters seem to be stronger than usual in the usual sort of beat-em-up canon. Like, usually beat-em-ups, like, your characters can do one-on-one just fine. Like, they can nail anybody like that. But then you start doing, like, multiple on multiple, and, like, that's kind of where they start losing out. But this, it's like, because you have the weapon, you can attack multiple people at once. So long as you're content with just keeping one side busy, which, frankly, I can make that sacrifice, then it does seem like your character is strangely powerful. Oh my gosh, they just keep coming. Don't you see I have a spear? You cannot win against me. So, are we exploring the underworld? Or is this just like regular China? Like, are they implying that regular China has like demons? I'm pretty sure this is the underworld, but I don't actually know. Well, it's called Journey to the West. Maybe this is supposed to be the West. That's a joke. Well, I gotta say, this boss is actually surprisingly not cheap. Now, I strongly suspect he is a sub-boss because we fought a lot of bosses for this guy to be like a real boss. Plus his health bar only goes up to like regular-ish amounts. It's kind of elongated because it goes across the screen, but I'm suspecting that he really only has about as much HP as you do. Which, yeah, that's something to put in perspective. Like, your characters in a beat-em-up have HP. So how does your HP compare to the boss's HP? Usually, it's like drastically different. But this game seems to play it a bit more fair. Not like 100% fair, but more fair. More fair. Actually, I'm kind of interested. What system could this even be on? Like, what kind of hardware? I mean, it's definitely at least 16-bit, because we've got like kind of big sprites. It seems like era of the Neo Geo almost. I mean, of course it's not a Neo Geo game. You can have 4 players for starters. Yeah, fun fact, Neo Geo only had allowed for 2 players. So, and I feel like that, well, it might have hurt Neo Geo in like beat 'em ups, but again, who needs beat 'em ups when you've got Metal Slug? Oh, interesting. Oh no. Yeah, okay, why can't you pick it up? Oh, maybe he can't use magic. Maybe each character can only use certain types of magic. This game, it's just puzzles presented with, hey, why was the intro text in English but everything else in Japanese? Okay, that's okay. It's not like we needed to know this epic journey ever. Oh, that's kind of neat. Whoa. So every character is like, every enemy character just looks so different. Like previously, I mean, we're in the underworld fighting these like little demon guys. Now we're fighting wind elementals. And that's actually really cool, because like, you play beat 'em up like, let's say, I don't know, Golden Axe. And like, hate to break it to you, pal, but you're gonna fight these same types of enemies the whole gosh darn way through. You think it gets boring? Oh baby, does it get boring. Even Altered Beast, like, you don't fight the exact same enemies, but like, everything is a humanoid of roughly the same sprite shape. And then you just kind of fight them over and over and over. And plus too, in both of those 2 games, you just have your fists to keep you company. So there's not too much going on. Okay, Altered Beast, you kind of work your way up to a transformation, which was kind of the highlight of each particular chapter. But prior to that, oh my gosh, it is a slow slog. Although I will give Altered Beast credit, it does kind of scroll through, so you kind of move it along in a decent click. This game is kind of like a choose your own pace sort of game, but like, if you want to choose the pace glacial, well, ask and it shall receive. Or, you ask it and it will, and you will receive. Okay. Oh, sweet. Can we upgrade? No, it's a special weapon. Interesting. So it seems like you can't ever change your equipped weapon, which actually kind of makes sense, because like if you think about it, like this guy has trained his entire life to fight with a spear, and if you've ever seen some of those Chinese martial arts videos with them fighting with the spear, it's like they can do some pretty sweet stuff. And I mean, yeah, they have to train with like, there was a time limit the whole time? Well, and here I was thinking this game would be generous, and it more or less is. Oh, that was the... Okay, now we're the monkey guy. So that now, okay, now we're actually back to the bow staff. Oh, come on, pick up the spear. Oh, I think he technically did. Oh, okay. So you have to walk into the cave, but you have to be a little bit particular about it. On one hand, I'm tempted to complain about, like... Well, okay, I'm sure you've heard the... Oh, now they're fire elementals. Tricky. So I'm sure you've heard the common complaint. It's like, oh, we're in a fire land. It's like you should be hit by convection if you go too close to the sides. This level, I mean, of course, it doesn't really do that per se, but it does do... There is, like, constant fire. Like, you get a similar sense of danger just for being in the fire realm. Oh my god. You know what? Oh, that's... Okay, so he uses fire... No! I am weaponless! Life is not worth it. Jeez Louise. Okay, now we're starting to see the downsides of this. At least he punches pretty fast, but... And they don't take too much care to hide the special stages. Although, now that there's a time limit, you gotta kind of ask yourself, is it ever worth it? Is the time limit all the time, or just some of the time? Okay, I think once enemies are all killed, then it goes into a time limit? I honestly am not so sure about the time limit. Hey, I thought we were supposed to save you, not be destroyed by you. But oh well. Oh, golly. Collector's instincts right here. Alright, well, I've got no patience, so let's just use everything in my arsenal. That's kind of neat. Just freezes everything in the world. Oh, come on. But it does seem like special weapons kind of carry over from character to character, so it's sort of in your interest to not sort of hastily use everything you have. Bocce. Oh, the pig. Oh, that's silly. He's using a farming tool to fight. I wonder if he does more damage. Like, he looks like a slugger. I gotta say, though, that spear guy was just... He just has so much range. It's kind of interesting, like, in every sort of beat 'em up, they make the characters feel different. But given the systems of each beat 'em up, there's almost always, like, a clearly optimal character. Like, some combination of speed and range will always win out over everyone else. Almost always. Sometimes they kind of balance the characters thing to thing, but this one, I'm pretty sure the spear guy definitely is the best. But I mean, that kind of makes sense, because it's like, if you're looking at any of these doofuses and you want to like fight a full-scale war throughout the countryside, I mean, are you going to choose the kid? Are you going to choose the chick? Are you going to choose the pig? Or are you going to choose the battle-hardened general who comes with an actual martial weapon, as opposed to something he found on the ground? Yeah, I'd probably go for the spear guy, too. I mean, no offense to the girl, she did at least have a knife. Like, this guy, I'm pretty sure he just picked up the first thing he had, like, next to him in his shack. Oh, wow, he did not last long. I don't necessarily think that's an indictment of him, but, okay. Oh, okay, he's not Guan Yu, he's some other guy, of course. Oh, wow. That kind of sucks, because again, he also has, like, a staff-like object. You know, every single one of them has a staff except for the sword girl, now that I think about it. That's interesting. Except this guy, he kind of uses his staff like sort of a short-range club, which is weird. Oh, wow, we've already made quite a bit of progress on the mosaic. For example, we've already made it to the Wild West. I mean, hey, it's called Journey to the West. You knew we were eventually going to end up in, I don't know, Utah? Oh, I guess wagon wheels. That's not necessarily the Wild West. It could just be some West. Just kidding, there are cactuses there. This is very clearly the Wild West. Vultures? Are vultures native to China? It's always kind of weird, like, thinking about what animals do other countries have. Because, like, you watch a lot of American TV, it's like you kind of get a sense for, like, what the Americans have in their countrysides and forests and whatever, but then you think about it, it's like, well, what kind of animals are there in Africa? Yeah, I've seen picture books, and, like, I can kind of make educated guesses, but what about, like, just kind of normal, everyday, off-the-street animals? Are there squirrels in Africa? Are there, I don't know, chirpy little birds in Africa? It's just kind of questions, like, things you take for granted. Do they have foxes in Africa? Do they have elephants in Africa? Well, I mean, yeah, we've seen it in the picture books, but do they have elephants in all of Africa? Or there are only elephants in some parts of Africa? It's mysterious. There's so much little knowledge you get by actually living in a place. For example, if the designers of this game had actually visited the American West, they would know that the ground is not, in fact, littered with the skeletons of giants. Well, I'll say one thing for this guy. Well, okay, I'll say two things. Probably joined together with a semicolon. He does not have a lot of range. Well, semicolon. But he does seem to have a lot of power. Like, it does seem like the enemies are going down in a lot fewer hits. Now, I'd almost take the spear guy just for the crowd control abilities. Well, he does seem to, this guy, he does seem to be able to, like, take down the flying enemies with, like, absolutely no problem. Although, honestly, if I was listing MVPs, I gotta say the real MVP is this game. Because, like, I've only just now played all 5 characters. And I'm pretty far in the game. I'm, like, 3 levels in. That's pretty cool. And the enemy variety is, like, held out consistently throughout. Like most other fighting games. Ooh, signature. Did I die or something? Okay. I've... What? Did the game just like assume that I would die instantly against this boss? I mean, not necessarily an unjustified assumption, but like, I've never played a game that lets you enter your initials halfway through. Now, I play a lot of games that let you... I play a few games where you can enter your initials at the beginning. Now, I play occasionally... Well, okay, almost every game you can enter your initials at the end. But entering your initials midway through... Like, what is this madness? Oh, interesting. So he looks like a deer, and he has the power of a deer. Let's go back to our fave spear guy. Oh, yeah. The other one might have had power, but this guy just has panache. You cannot buy panache at the store. Yeah, you can buy pizza. And if you sleep, you get a few extra Z's. So I suppose you can combine them together and get pizzazz, which is similar, albeit not quite, panache. Okay, fine. So you can buy pizzazz off the street, basically. But you cannot buy panache, and that's what this guy has. You also can't just buy spears, as it seems like not everybody just has a spear. Although I don't know. Ooh, double spear? Can we? No. What the heck? He's using a special attack on me. That's so cheap. Yeah. It is kind of weird. It's like you're playing this beat 'em up, and like when you're playing, you're like, oh my gosh, that's so unfair. He's using a special attack, and then you kind of ignore the fact that like your character can also use special attacks. I'm pretty sure speedruns of this game do use the king guy, because now that I'm playing a spear guy again, I can see that like he doesn't do so much damage. He does a fair bit of damage, and like I'm not gonna complain really, but like I don't have all day. I only have most of the day, and I prefer to get through this guy real quick. Wait, why is the music still actiony? Oh. I gotta stock up on special weapons for the next boss. Oh, sweet. Okay. Oh, okay. Maybe he has less choice in specials. Alright, so now we're underground again, but, well, true to this game's credit and initial first impressions, the enemies are all different, I think. I mean, yeah, they're like sort of demons like the other ones, but they're different demons, which is kind of unprecedented. And even more convincingly, like maybe they do repeat, but like there's still 4 different at the same time. Okay, to be fair, there were 4 different at the same time in that last game. Now it's all the same guy, but at least they have different pants and whatever. That's at least trying, sort of. Oh man, goats. Oh man. I mean, you're calling it like it is, game. He's a goat and he's a thug. All right, let's head back to the king guy and see if he does significantly more damage. Oh, well, that's just a special attack though. That proves nothing. But, well, on one hand, it seems like he does do more damage, although the range is definitely a liability. And even further, it seems like the boss falls down after like you hit him twice anyway. So any extra damage you could have done is negated by the fact that you just straight up hit fewer times, which is unfortunate because I want to blast right through this, but you're not letting me, game. Well, I guess we'll compare Spear Guy. Maybe Spear Guy just does drastically less damage. Also, this guy's specials seem a little less useful. Like, he shoots fire to the sides, but the enemy very frequently is not on the sides. I mean, if he was the whole time, then I could just attack him regularly. Oh, cool. He can do like sort of an uppercut. Oh yeah, I forgot I had the crowd control attack. Well, because every time you think about the crowd control attack, which uses hit points for gauge, you gotta kind of ask yourself, is that Faustian bargain worth it? Is it worth it to like cut off some of your health in order to attack? Okay, so it does seem like King Guy does do more damage, but I feel like you get to take advantage of the boss's vulnerability a bit more with the spear. And also, I mean, the boss is only going to let you hit him so many times anyway, so that kind of fights off the king guy's advantage. And plus he, like, seems to throw this goat guy, and it's like, you were doing work. Oh, I see, the goat guy is, just soaking up the damage. Oh, come on, I want Ragnarok. Oh, cool. Okay. So he walks up the stairs and then he walks to the side of the stairs. I'm not really sure, like, what this music is meant to indicate. Is this meant to... It kind of sounds like a carnival almost. It's like, yeah, ready to have a rowdy good time. Honestly, there's not much to say anymore. It's a beat 'em up. We saw everything that happened. I'm starting to wonder if it's even worth continuing on. But I might as well just waste all my resources on the next boss and then see where that takes me. Although I'm not sure. It's like, are we in level 2? Are we in level 4? Oh boy, it's Tiger Thug. He's my favorite one from the story. Or was it Lion Thug? It's hard to remember. It's hard to distinguish them. Well, once the bosses have 2 hit bars, I'm definitely calling it quits. That is just... I mean, I'm not even going to call it cheap. I'm just going to say it just wastes my time. Well, if you think about it, a beat-em-up is almost always a waste of time. Like, beat-em-ups really don't want to reward skill for, reward skill with longer play. Which makes sense, because that would kind of go against their all but explicit goal to gain credits. But still, I mean, it's kind of an annoying genre in that sense. Like, shoot-em-ups, almost to a rule, allow you to use your skills to dodge everything. But then beat-em-ups, it's kind of like... Now, okay, to be clear, there is a skill. There is sort of a universal beat-em-up skill. But, I mean, not... Like, your skill can only take you so far. Oh, I see Tiger Thug. Okay. He does have slightly more than 1 hit bar. He kind of sneaks it down below. Oh, okay. So if you press A and B, this guy's special attack is he kind of swirls around on the bottom and then hits a little harder. But man, oh man, is Tiger Thug taking a beating and still keep on ticking. Maybe ticking a little too strong. Yay. Oh wow, and if you use the crowd control attack on the Tiger Thug, it does essentially no damage. So that's not really viable, because especially you're using your own hit points way faster, but Tiger Thug is just, he's too ubiquitous. How can you beat him? It's impossible. Alright, let's let this bangy demon have his go. Game over. That's kind of funny. It's like a horror screen or something. If I showed you that game over screen out of context, you'd be like, whoa, nice horror game. That's so goofy. Well, now that I've... Wait, did we get to play as the monk? Or was the monk the warrior, the spear guy? That seems like... Yeah, okay. So there are 4 guys here and the monk. But we played as 5 guys. Something doesn't add up here. Well, I'm not going to complain about the spear guy because he is clearly the best, but there's something weird going on. Well, okay, so that was Oriental Legend. I mean, as far as beat-em-ups go, it's interesting. It does some interesting things, and it does give you a weapon, which does really help to kind of establish the gameplay. Because then you can have, like, you fighting the enemies with the weapon, and you do, like, a whole lot more damage. And then you also have, like, when you drop the weapon, it's always a mad dash. It's like, can I get the weapon back in this credit or not? But at the same time, like, despite changing all these things, it's still fundamentally like a boring beat 'em up. Like, yeah, you fight through these waves of enemies, you keep on going and going and going and going until eventually you're recreating the myth of Sisyphus. Like, there's no... Yeah... I don't know, beat 'em ups aren't necessarily my thing. It's like a little too little gameplay and a little too much content, if you ask me. Oh cool, looks like there are duo attacks, team-up attacks. And I guess if you know the game, you can do stuff like that. Probably a significant cost to your hit points, but hey, isn't it all about looking stylish? Well, okay, now that I think about it, beat 'em ups are kind of like an inherently social genre, because you kind of share the entire journey with your, like, compatriots. And it kind of becomes like this shared experience. You can be like, oh man, remember when we fought all the way to the end of Oriental Legend? Now, I will give them credit, because it looks like the unique enemy designs do continue on. Oh, whoa, can you attack people when they're down? Maybe I've been playing this game entirely wrong the whole time. If I was, I of course fault the game for not telling me how to do, like, sweet, cool stuff, like attacking somebody when they're down. I mean, hey, it's not honorable, but it is efficient. Okay, well, that was Oriental Legend, but the legend continues, but so does Ashgabat Cat, just not with this game. So on that note, this cat's got a scat.